Rumors are that allegedly Gizelle was given a talking to. What was it about? And who was it from? I have some new information that may answer all of those questions and more right after this. What's up, kinfolk? And welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, do me a favor and subscribe. And if you already are subscribed, do me a favor and get notified so you'll know whenever I upload new videos to the channel. All right, kinfolk, come on into the house. We have a lot to talk about. And it centers around rumors that allegedly Gizelle was giving a talking to. Who was it from? And what was it about? I have some new information that may answer all of those questions and more. And here it goes. Rumors are that allegedly Real Housewives of Potomac producers and network executives gave Gizelle a talking to regarding her mean girl tactics used in previous seasons. The source said, allegedly, it was not only Candiace but also Gizelle who received a talking to regarding her behavior issues with the cast. Everyone was fed up, said the source. It was unanimous that Gizelle was the reason for the decline of the show. Producers were allegedly told by the network to fix it or face the chopping block themselves. Allegedly, said the source, it was a serious talk with Gizelle that producers made it abundantly clear that she had to change. The source continued, Gizelle was very resistant to the talking to, allegedly because she felt she was untouchable. However, once news broke that Gizelle had kicked out her castmates from her party, the fan backlash was quick and producers were swift to change course. Gizelle allegedly was told that she had to change or be phased out at the franchise. The source continued, this is what finally prompted Gizelle to play nice with Wendy. Also, sources say that Gizelle firmly apologized to the ladies on the Charlotte trip for kicking them out of her party, just to save face and to appease the producers. Producers were pleased by Gizelle's change of heart, said the source, but are still keeping a watchful eye on her and her behavior with the cast. Can she keep it up? Can the niceties last? Who knows, said the source, but if she wants her job, she should stay the course of being a nicer Gizelle. Now, kinfolk, this is some information that's coming out of filming of season, I think it is 9 or 10 of Real Housewives of Potomac. The seasons are coming very quickly. And this is some information that I got that I can actually see as being somewhat factual. But the first thing I want to talk about, I think, is very clear when it comes to Gizelle and her behavior on the show. And it's this. You know, Gizelle is very stubborn. If you are to believe this rumor, my sources are saying that allegedly she was very hesitant to make the changes needed in order for the cast to move forward. Now, this was very evident at the reunion and even after the reunion when filming started. She was the same as Gizelle, as my sources are saying, when she started to antagonize the new cast members. And that really rubbed the fans the wrong way when that news broke. And also, it made the other ladies very standoffish from her, and allegedly they were starting to ice Gizelle out. But even that didn't stop her from her same old tactics. And then when she kicked the ladies out of her party for a very vain and frivolous reason for them going to Karen's party first and her party second, it showed producers and fans that Gizelle really does not have any intent to change. So I can see why producers have to finally step in and say, Gizelle, you know, you have to change or face being eliminated from the franchise. Now, kinfolk, the next part of this rumor I can see as being somewhat factual on Gizelle's part, and it's this. You know, Gizelle's mean girl persona has worked for her up until this point. You know, she even made a brand of it, the Green Eye Bandits. And love or hate them, the fans really were into seeing Gizelle in her devilment and seeing what she could get away with and what she could, you know, conjure up with the ladies in terms of drama. And a lot of people were very tuned into that. And they want to see Gizelle be bad in sort of way. However, when they started changing their viewpoint of Gizelle and they stopped hate watching to just being, watching out of just routine, then that's when we saw the dynamic change. It's one thing to be a lovable villain that you hate watch an episode, but just going to be a villain that people just hate is something completely different. And that was the territory that Gizelle was in, according to my sources. So she had to make a course correction because that persona that she built about being a green-eyed bandit or a messy mean girl was no longer serving her. And it's surprising that she ended up eventually changing. But again, if you are to believe this rumor, I think that the only thing that could have made her change was the threat, or at least a serious threat, of being let go at the network and with the franchise. Now, Kinfo, the third part of this rumors that I really find very refreshing, and it has to do with the producers, and it's this. It seems like the producers are finally waking up and seeing that what happened with Jersey could very well happen with Potomac, and that Gizelle is the problem, and they had to course correct her in order to save the franchise. To be perfectly honest with you, I think the talk of boycotts from fans really hit the network, and it kind of trickled down to the producers. And I think everyone can agree that the last 2 seasons have not been Potomac's best, and that fans are really getting tired of seeing Gizelle get away with any and everything that she does to the ladies. So seeing how that has really kind of collapsed the Jersey franchise in regards to Teresa and Melissa not necessarily being put by not having guardrails around their actions, it can really sink a franchise. And Gizelle was in that same territory, not having guardrails around her actions, that was going to sink the Potomac ship. Now, Gizelle has changed according to the sources and according to some leaks from filming, but will it last? A lot of people say that it probably will, simply because Potomac is in a very sensitive situation right now. And that if Gizelle continues to go down that same path, it was going to literally mean not only her termination, but also the failing and collapsing of the show. So for now, I think that producers made the right call, if you are to believe this rumor, that they gave Gizelle a talking to. I think it was time. I think it was needed. And ultimately, I think it's what's going to save the franchise. Now, the last part of this rumor, Kinfo, that I want to talk about, it has to do with Gizelle and it has to do with Wendy. And I think something that has clicked between the two since last season rep. And I think once we dissect this last part, I think, Kinfolk, you probably will agree with me as well as to why Gizelle has taken this new route when it comes to her relationship with Wendy. And it's this. As we saw over the weekend, Wendy and Gizelle seem to be somewhat cordial. And that's something very totally different from the last time we saw them in the same room together. Gizelle at one point, it seems as if she was just refusing to film with Wendy or even talk to Wendy when they were in the same room together. And that was very unfortunate. But I think that since Wendy and Gizelle on the cast have the most negative history together, I think it was very incumbent upon Gizelle to fix their relationship above any other relationship. Because Wendy, one, has slowly become a fan favorite. And two, you just really can't hide the blatant colorism like you once could through editing. People now see exactly what Wendy and Candiace were talking about. And if Gizelle wants to change her image, the best way to do it is to make friends and make nice with Wendy. Point blank, simple, in the period. And I think Gizelle realizes that. And that's why I feel like she is now being nicer to Wendy, being more cordial, willing to be in the same space with her and act like they're having fun instead of acting like she was bored or irritated by being in Wendy's presence. Now, how long would this last? Me personally, I think it will last throughout filming and even throughout the next couple of seasons. And the reason why is because simply, if you are to believe the other rumors from the filming, that Gizelle was on the verge of being iced out, she realized she cannot be upon an island upon herself, because that's not only going to look bad for her and her brand, but it's going to also look bad for her position at the franchise. And with Mia slowly building a coalition of housewives who have her back, and with Karen being the grind dame, who is pretty much a producer's favorite, it seems like Gizelle was really about to be iced out on her own doing without the ladies having to do much work. So, I really do believe that if she fixes this relationship with Wendy, I think the other ladies think that they have a chance of fixing their relationship with her as well, simply because Wendy and Gizelle's beef was like the most negative, and if they can get past that, I think the other ladies might feel like they can get past their small issues with Gizelle and bring her back into the fold. Now, this works both ways. It keeps Gizelle off their back, and it keeps Gizelle in the mix and employed with the franchise. But kinfolk, I want to know what you guys think. If you are to believe that this rumor that Gizelle was allegedly given a talking to by producers and the executives that she should change the way she's acting at the franchise, do you think it's a good move for her to change her behavior, or do you think that she should continue with this whole green-eyed bandit persona and make that her thing and her brand, regardless of how producers or the network feels about it? Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Alright, kinfolk, as always, if you enjoyed this video, please like, share, subscribe, and comment. And I'll see you guys over in the next one. Peace.